Module 1, Understanding Leadership, a production of the J.W. Fanning Institute for Leadership Development.
In early times, being a leader was often associated with being in charge of something. It meant being a military commander, king, or a person in an official position of power and authority. As time went on, leaders were seen as the individuals who possessed the greatest number of desirable traits. Leadership was also associated with being able to exercise influence over others. This included the ability to persuade others to do what the leader wanted them to do. In recent years, many leadership theories have evolved. Among them are the following. The Great Man Theory. This theory is based on the belief that leaders are born, and having superior leaders depends on high birth rates among the more desirable classes. It was believed that such high-born persons were destined to become leaders because of their status. If, for example, your father were a king, well, then it was presumed that you would follow in his footsteps and also become a king. The Great Man Theory is so called because it was also believed that women, well, they couldn't really be leaders. This theory has been proven to be incorrect. Servant Leadership Theory. This theory is based on the belief that the primary task of the leader is to serve others. Although servant leadership has ancient roots, the modern theory of servant leadership was first formulated by Robert Greenleaf in the 1970s. In this theory, the great leader is seen as a servant first, and that simple fact is the key to greatness. In this model, leadership begins with the urge to serve, then the conscious choice to lead. That person is sharply different from one who is a leader first, perhaps because of a need for power or to acquire material possessions. Situational leadership. Situational leadership theory says that there's no one best leadership style, but that leaders have to adjust their style based on the situation and the follower's ability and willingness to follow. It also stresses that time and circumstances dictate who the leaders will be. In times of crisis, for example, during a war or a natural catastrophe, leaders almost automatically surface to take charge and exercise leadership. No discussion of leadership is complete without some mention of followership. Without followers, there can be no leaders. Leaders and followers influence each other. Leaders cannot maintain their authority and effectiveness unless followers respect their authority and are willing to let them lead. Leaders who don't create an environment which allows followers to contribute to their own growth and development of the communities in which they live, work, and play soon find themselves without any followers. Now, we know that leaders are certainly not limited to great men, and those of you who want to exercise leadership in your communities should recognize that leadership begins with the desire to serve others over the desire to seek power. By serving the community, you are leading others. And remember, developing your individual leadership skills helps you to be prepared to assume the role of leadership when time and circumstances suggest that it's needed. One of the principles of leadership that we adhere to at the J.W. Fanning Institute for Leadership Development is that everyone has leadership potential. We also stress that leaders learn through reflection on their own experiences and the experiences of others. That's what you've been doing in this program and what we'll continue to do as we explore more of the J.W. Fanning principles of leadership together.
ba 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 ba